Barstool Backstage, a lot to talk about. Obviously, it's been a crazy week in the world of hip hop since the last time we were on. We have Dante live from another goddamn airport. KFC on the show today. KFC, how are you, buddy?
Good, man. We were trying to find a time to make this work all week long. I'm happy we finally did it because I got to talk. I got to get all this stuff out. I don't have anybody to talk to about this shit because no one else at the company fucking listens to this stuff.
I know, yeah. Well, you know, the internet's been waiting for 3 more white people to weigh in on this shit. So,
you know what I was going to say? I get that a lot. I mean, I've obviously been with the rest of the world tweeting about this and talking about it nonstop.
Yep.
And I get two things. One, like, I get hit with the "how do you do, fellow kids" meme. And I'm like, these guys are 40.
Yeah.
These rappers are my rappers.
Yep.
These are not, I'm not trying to be a kid. I am age appropriate right now. The kids don't give a fuck about this. So don't tell me I'm trying to be young because this is my music from my generation. Guys my age, fuck you. And then the other thing is like, yeah, well,
that's a great point.
Right? Yeah, dude, it's if you ask like a 16-year-old kid about this, they'd be like, I don't even know who Kendrick Lamar is.
Yeah, that's old people music. That's absolutely what's going on right now. Also, the only people that give a fuck about this are like the Drake hype beasts. If you're talking about like the 16-year-olds who don't remember like "Miss Me" and "Thank Me Later" and shit like that. So yeah,
I have no idea what that is. Right. And then the other side is like, who wants to hear a white guy talk about this? It's like, I don't know. If you still think that way about hip hop, then I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I'm not gonna win that argument anyway.
Right. Am I, you know, a hip hop expert? And, you know, are there people who are more well versed than me to talk about it? Sure. But I don't know. Can white people just not talk about hip hop? Then fine.
The funny part was
tell them they're not allowed to talk about golf then.
Yeah, stay out of my
It's not even necessarily black people. Most of the time it's other white guys.
It's white people.
Me, you know, stop talking about this white guy.
Dante, you know what's funny? I was gonna call Andrew Barber. I was gonna get Andrew Barber on now. It's like that's what we need. We need the fourth guy to complete it. Actually, Dante, you're like half white, dude. You could pass as something.
So
got a tan going.
I'm just glad that we made it to Thursday and nothing else dropped. I was so worried that we pushed it back a day, we pushed back another day. Like I figured if you told me last week we would have been doing this Thursday, I would have thought 3 or 4 more songs would have dropped since then.
I think it definitely cooled down a little bit. But it was funny. I had a moment like smack in the middle of it where I was like, all right, I'm going to make a video about this. And then a song dropped. And I was like, fuck, tomorrow I can't make a video. And another song dropped. But it kept being a good thing because there was more to talk about.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said internally to myself, I was like, maybe I should wait until everything comes out and I have full knowledge of the topic before I talk about it. And I was like, maybe I should do that for everything. Maybe we should all always be doing that on the internet and not firing as soon as something happens because there might be something coming literally 2 minutes later.
Yeah, maybe I should, get all the facts and let this all settle and then we can give an informed opinion. No, I need to get these fucking takes off, dude. Yeah, I need to do this right now. And also, this is true Barstool Backstage fashion. We missed the SEO window. If we would have dropped this on fucking Sunday, we would have went crazy. This is what we do. We go after the fact and our numbers suck for it. I love it. This is what we do. Regardless, I'm excited to finally have this conversation because I'm going to start with this. I think Questlove is right in saying no one wins in this except for us. This is fun. No one in rap is toast. Rap is done. The entire culture is dead. It's clear. We've been saying this for years. Regardless, give me my fucking respite of enjoyment of 2 grown men going at each other. This is fun. This is my thought, and I've said it to Dante in passing, but Drake made a huge tactical error in the fact that I look at Drake like a rich kid leaving a New York bar who decided to fuck with a homeless guy. Because Drake comes out and he's just like, guys, this is kind of fun. Let's go fuck with this guy over here. What's he got going on? Kendrick has nothing but time and lunacy, and he's intelligent, and he has nothing to lose in this circumstance. I think it's very clear that Kendrick comes out on top in this, and we can get into the individual acts. But as Seth Rogen said, the second you have to defend yourself that you're a pedo, you lose. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
KFC, I've seen you've kind of echoed the same thing, but at the same time, where do you stand on this overview?
Oh man, there's so much shit to talk about here. I feel like part of me did think at the beginning, I was thinking to myself, Drake has all the commercial success, but doesn't get regarded as a hip hop legend. Kendrick Lamar is regarded as that, but does not have the commercial success, right? They're kind of like mirrors of each other. And I was thinking to myself, Kendrick cannot achieve pop star status with this battle.
Right.
But maybe Drake can achieve hip hop legend by winning this battle. So I was like, Drake actually has something to gain here because it doesn't. And the exact opposite happened. Drake lost the battle, and Kendrick did gain pop star status, kind of with Not Like Us, where like that's the song of the summer. So I couldn't believe that it ended up going that direction because it's like literally the opposite of what I thought both rappers needed to do, and then what both rappers actually ended up doing. I will say this: there's a lot of reasons why Kendrick won this, and I say that as a Team Drake guy. I've been as much down the middle as I possibly can. I do not like Kendrick Lamar. I don't like. I tried for years because he had so much. He has so much talent and hype, and every time I listen to him, I'm like, I just don't like it. I don't like your voice. I don't like the robot voices. You're too artsy. You're too high horse. I just don't like it. So for me to say that, it's a clear, like, he washed him. Right. But also the starting point for this battle means a ton because there's a huge contingency of people that just wants Drake to lose.
Yes.
And when you start a battle from that point, you're starting from down here. Kendrick's starting from 0. You're starting from like -50.
Right.
And a lot that you got to overcome because everyone's going to try to discredit you. Everyone's going to try to brush off your hits, and everyone's going to hype up his. And while Kendrick still did win this soundly, there's a lot of examples of that happening where it's like, we just want Drake to lose.
So let me ask you this: and this goes back to what you guys were saying when this all popped off. I'm still in the camp that almost feels bad, almost in a way, for Drake, because I feel like he did not do anything to provoke this and just got piled on by everybody. What do you think?
No, I disagree completely on that because he sends subliminal shots constantly. He's always yapping. He's always talking shit. This was bound to happen eventually.
See, I don't know. I mean, like, Kevin, what do you think?
I mean, when you really go through the timeline, this goes back literally 10 years.
Yep.
You know, like probably there's, Drake takes Kendrick on tour. Everything's all good. At that point, that's probably where things start to go south. I bet those are two guys who got together and they were like, we just do not jive. It just doesn't work. And then 2013, Kendrick puts out that Control verse. Yep. And that's where things start to get touchy, where there was some subliminals, but there was also some direct responses, not on record, but in like interviews. I do think
that was less than a year after Poetic Justice, which was a fucking jam. With both of them. I mean, they shot a video together for it. I mean, I don't know what started the whole thing.
Dude, I do think it's a lot of Kendrick looks at Drake's commercial success and is probably like, fuck that. Yep. All he does is jack other people's styles and he just puts out hooks and sings. And I should be selling those records. And Drake probably looks at Kendrick and is like, why am I not regarded as a fucking hip hop legend? Yep. Look what I'm doing. And so whether it's like not, they're mad, it's like the market they're mad at, but it reflects upon each other person. I do think that like on the big scope, like this was going to happen. I can understand what you're saying though, as far as like J.Cole has this harmless fucking line and Kenny goes off on it. And then Drake's like, all right, you're going to bow out. I'll fucking pick up the baton. And next thing you know, you're getting fucking whooped.
Which, by the way, does he not look like the smartest man on the planet
Cole?
Now?
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot. I don't want to say, I think he looks like, I still don't think that was a good, like, I get that he avoided all of this, but I will never take him seriously ever again when he's talking that shit about I can smash any MC.
So they're saying now that Schoolboy Q hit him up and told him, yo, you're out of your fucking mind.
Flip that. You have it backwards. You're backwards. Schoolboy Q tried to get in and Cole came back and said, get the fuck out. That's what happened because Schoolboy Q was on stage 2 weeks ago talking shit and Cole hit him up in what he does in his like guru sensei way and was like, listen, man, it's not worth your soul. It's like, shut up, Cole. You can't talk all the shit that you've talked over the years. And I love Cole. Of the three of them, Cole is my favorite. I'm a Cole nerd. I'm one of those guys. I'm a Cole dick rider 100%. He comes out like a total loser in this, in my eyes, because once again, like KFC said, I'll never take him seriously again. Like,
and everything he's said in the past. Every time I go listen to my favorite records and he says that shit, I'm in my head going, nope, that's not true.
I think what we forget here, though, is when we're talking about, like, how did this start? What happened? This was not just Kendrick. This was also, if you go back to Like That, right? Drake has so many enemies within the industry and so many people that he's pissed off. And if you go and look at the facts, all the stuff he's done behind people's backs, he slept with a lot of people's girls.
See, listen, I have to throw a flag on that, because why are all these people doing songs with him if they have problems with him?
Yeah, but then you can't. See, okay, so let me just back up one step, because part of me thinks when all of that, when like the Avengers got together and they were calling Drake Thanos, one half of me was like, these guys are petty and they are fucking jealous and they coordinated this like some Mean Girl shit. Like, fuck these guys, right? But the other half of me goes like, and on a real life level, if you just know somebody who works a regular job and everybody in that industry hates that person, you'd be like, yeah, you're probably a fucking asshole, right? But then, and so if Drake is an asshole, like, fine. I don't know. I don't know what he does behind the scenes, but it seems like a lot of people don't like you. But he made your career. He resurrected your career. He and if I'm a culture vulture and I'm a pedophile and I'm a black-hearted, evil, immoral person, how come you take every fucking record I hand you? How come you will jump for a feature for me, vice versa?
That's exactly my question. Like, this whole thing still doesn't add up to me.
It's almost like the music industry is a murky, dark, backstabbing, fucked up place. It's almost like I've been talking about that for like 4 years.
Well, no, you know what it is? It's all of those things, and there's business and record deals and who gets what percentage and all that shit. But it comes down to one thing, and it always has, and throughout all of history, it's women. It's fucking women. These guys all fuck the same girls, and that's where it at least starts. Maybe it's not like the whole thing. Maybe it is about money and business, but there's always word that, oh, he fucked that girl, well, I fucked her first, and he fucked her second, and that's my baby mama, and all of a sudden it just explodes, which is like the worst thing ever, guys. It's like you're all fucking so talented and this is so good, and you're gonna let a video girl or a groupie or whatever fuck it all up.
Or Rihanna.
Now that makes actual sense to me.
Well, that's where it started.
Yeah.
But like unofficially, that's where it started. But if that is the true root of this, it makes way more sense.
I don't think it's the root of it for Kendrick necessarily. I feel like this was Kendrick's door in. I don't think that he's in the situation where he's like, oh, you banged this guy's girl, whatever. I think he saw an opening because I think it had to do with Metro Boomin's girl. I think that's what happened. Was that Drake had something with Metro Boomin's girl. Metro has this song and Kendrick's like, oh, I also hate Drake as well. Let me come on this song. I think that's where it started. Also,
I think Kendrick, he just doesn't like him. He said it like point blank in a bar, just like, I just don't like you, man. I mean, when it's one of those things where it's like maybe he didn't do anything directly against Kendrick, even he has been setting subliminals and shit. But even if it's like, hey, you've always been nice to me, it's like, I don't care. You're a dick to everybody, or you fuck everybody's girl, or you. I do believe there's some truth to that rumor that feels like a lifetime ago, but that rumor that Drake like owns part of the record label at this point. And I feel like if every time you were putting out a record, he got a little piece of it, even if it was you said subliminals at the guy and he's getting paid off of it. I think that just eats at these guys. So I think that's for sure a part of it as well.
I think it is true, by the way. They're trying to deny it. Drake definitely has some stake in UMG because basically there's like four artists in the world right now that are making money. And they're all on UMG. And I'm sure they all have a piece of it in some capacity.
Dude, how about that rumor, I guess yesterday, 2 days ago, that the labels had like a conference call to try to shut this down? The labels are the last people who are shutting this down.
Yeah.
They love this. There's actually a chance Kendrick Lamar's album might sell now. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, that's incredible.
Anything is possible.
Dude, by the way, when people when all these new fans go listen to Kendrick's album and realize it's nothing like this good shit, and it's all his weird artsy stuff, they're all gonna be like, never mind, I'm going back to listen to Drake.
Well, exactly. Hey, doesn't that piss you off? One of our interns put it this way last week, and I was like, man, he's so fucking right. He said the one thing he's learned from this entire thing is that if rappers really wanted to, they could put out absolute fire in
all
2 weeks.
Yep. Yo, bro, the whole like on the clock thing, it's like you all should be on the clock for like 2 hours. It shouldn't even take 24 hours. It should be, he responds in the morning. You should have something out by lunchtime.
Yep.
Get out of here with that.
What did Kendrick came back from Family Matters within like a half an hour with
so,
references to the previous song.
That was like set up though. He knew that was coming.
So what I heard that is the turning point of the war.
Yes.
That's the biggest point of this whole fucking thing. I had heard from music bloggers and podcasters and slightly insiders that was Drake's plan, that Drake had a record ready to go, and that when Kendrick put it out, he was going to put it out like within the same second and step on him. And whether or not that was just not true or Drake changes his strategy, he just didn't do that, and he just let Kendrick do it. And it does not matter that Family Matters might be the best actual diss record out of this whole thing.
Yep.
That it's maybe the last verse, the second to last verse has like some of the best bars that are like, oh shit.
Yep.
Because it immediately got stepped on. It just got smothered out. Even if that drop wasn't good, it was like the talk was not going to be about your bars. It was going to be about how you just got erased within, I think, a 10-minute window.
Yep.
And so I just feel like, Drake was the guy who went back-to-back first. He got back-to-back. Drake allegedly had this plan to step on a record. He got stepped on. And that, to me, was like the turning point, because Drake's best effort, and we kept hearing about the red button and the nukes, and the nuke was definitely your son is not your child's not yours, and you hit your wife.
Yep.
And two things. Number one, it got stepped on, and everyone was like, look over here, look over here. And number two, I don't know what it says about like hip hop culture or whatever, but he said you hit your girl, and just nobody cared. Nobody cared. I don't know. Unfortunately, we've seen it a lot. There's been a lot of big names who have had domestic violence stuff, and I don't know. People were just like, we don't care. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do in a battle when you're like, hey, you're
collectively everyone was like, end.
Yeah, so what? I mean,
what are we doing?
Terrible. Should not be laughing. Should not be laughing at this. But circling back to the Questlove comment and the shot at all the made up information and facts and all that. I mean, where does that all play into this in your opinion, Kevin? I mean, doesn't that render half of this just completely?
It should.
Yeah, I mean,
so here's what happened. I find this to be the most fascinating part of the whole thing. Kendrick Lamar ran a Trump campaign on Drake. He trumped him.
Yep.
It does not matter. Facts don't matter. It does not matter what's true and what's not. He said it the loudest. Yep. He said it the most often. Mm-hmm. And his best tactical move, you know who won this battle? DJ Mustard. Mustard won this battle. I said it was like the American Revolution. Yes, America beat Britain. The colonies beat Britain, but not until the French came over with a bomb-ass navy and fucked shit up. DJ Mustard making that beat was like that was the nuke. That was the real nuke of this battle. I think he said it loudest, he said it the most often, and he came up with these little catchphrases. Everyone's gonna be singing OV ho, OV ho. Everyone's saying not like us, don't matter like us, don't matter. All those little, in the beginning, I was saying, Metro, shut your whole ass up and go make some drums. And I was saying, drop and give me 50. And by the end of it, people are crip walking to not like us. And I think that is really like, it's like Crooked Hillary and Lion Ted. You just make up these stories where there's a kernel of truth.
Yep.
I mean, Trump said that Ted Cruz's father was the Zodiac killer.
He killed JFK.
It does not matter. And he ran a political smear campaign, and it fucking worked. He won the election. And Drake over here at this point, we don't know who's telling the truth, but let's assume he is telling the truth, right? He's like, what do you guys? We have a video of him saying, grab her by the pussy. We have him saying blatantly racist and these things, and nobody cares. It's got to be the most infuriating thing. And that's what, Drake was the Democrats, and Kendrick is Make America Great Again.
Dude, if Trump doesn't come out to his rallies to not like us, he's missing an opportunity here.
Imagine.
If Barron comes out crip walking to not like us, I'm in. But that's really, like, you put it in a way that, like, I didn't think about, but they both played each other's games. Who would have thought that Drake would have gone more lyrical and Kendrick would have the hook? I never would have assumed that. One of them did it better than the other. And the thing is, though, Drake was the two tracks, Push Ups and Family Matters, were better than everything else that Kendrick did. I do think the turning point in the battle, though, for me, was the AI song. I truly think he lost the battle the second he pulled that corny ass schoolyard shit and did the AI stuff, because he wasn't taking it seriously. That's the way I look at it.
He was definitely that guy. Everyone's talking about that being bait and being like, come get me, where you at? And then it was like, oh shit, here he is.
But I'm just saying, like, from my perspective and a lot of people that I talked to, it was just like, that's what you got.
It was a misstep.
That was your big moment, and then Euphoria comes out, and Kendrick comes out with a 6-minute weird fucking introspective Silky Johnson track where he's giving the reasons why he hates everything. He's the hater of the year. I love that. But truthfully, the second that he did that AI song, he lost the battle in a lot of people's eyes. In my eyes is what I'm saying, basically. Like, it was so corny and such a misstep. And also, I have to say, I found the planted information corny as well. Like, Drake took this he treated it like Bravo, and Kendrick was like, I actually fucking hate you. Like, I actually want you to die. I want you.
By the way, though, I'm never a fan of when people are like battling and beefing over anything, and people play the like, I'm in your head rent free card. I don't like that. But to me, it's like, if I was Drake, I would have definitely taken the angle of like, you are fucking obsessed with me, dude.
Yes, dude.
I'm like Harvey Weinstein and I deserve to die. Like, whoa, buddy. I don't even think about you like that. Like, you're just a little detour for me on my career. I am clearly like ruining your life. I don't know why, but I am.
And that's what I'm saying about the rich guy versus the homeless guy conversation, is where Drake's like, okay, this is funny. Like, I'm fucking with the homeless guy. And the homeless guy's like, I want you to fucking die. Also, in that song, I don't know if you've like put this together, Kendrick is talking to different members of Drake's family throughout that song. He's telling his own mother that he thinks his son is a pedophile and should die so the rest of women are protected. We went too far at certain points in this. That was probably one of the darker aspects of it. Like, that was fucking nuts.
Meet the Grams was on some fucking DMX Eminem shit where that's a very interesting song because it was very pivotal in this battle. And I don't think anyone will ever listen to it a second time.
Well, it's an Alchemist record. That's what Alchemist records are. They're all beautifully produced.
But even, it's just like, what are you going to sing along with that? What are you going to put that on in the car? I mean, it was
difficult and uncomfortable to listen to. Very uncomfortable to make it through that one.
But also, this is a huge part of it where I sympathize with Drake. You're running a smear campaign. Like I said, you're doing it dirty like politics. That's the game. But if you're just 100% wrong and dedicate an entire verse to a girl that does not exist, that should be major points off. You took a whole half of your song rapping about to the wall about something that just is not even real. I don't, again, nobody cared. They were just like, whatever. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. We don't care, because I think people just wanted Drake to lose. Drake is the LeBron of rap. And I try to tell this. Feidelberg asks me all the time, like, why do I like rap so much? Why is it different than other genres? And I think it's the only genre where there's like winning and losing, and there is battling, whether it be literal or just like who's better than the other person. It's like, you like Taylor, you like Bieber, it doesn't matter. In our world, you have a guy you like and a guy you hate, and it's like arguing MJ and LeBron. And in this case, he's grown to LeBron status where people either dick ride for him or they want to see him lose, and then they just make that fit. That whatever happens, they just make it fit the narrative.
This is a weird comparison. But this is kind of the LeBron and Lance Stevenson beef back in the day.
Very good.
If
Like
Lance
that.
Stevenson was Kevin Durant, I don't know how else to put this. Like Lance Stevenson was bothering LeBron, and LeBron was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Except in this circumstance, Lance Stevenson is got Kevin Durant's skill, and that's where it goes.
No, I
That's what
like
this
that. That's
was.
good.
That's what this was.
Makes a lot of sense.
I don't know, man. Like, go ahead, Dante.
So Kevin already said, but I want to ask who besides Kendrick and Drake, who's the biggest winner in all this? Kevin already said Mustard. Who for you, Colin?
Mustard for sure. In a win, I don't know if he's a winner, but I like to think about what Future did this entire time because I don't think Future had any idea what's going on. The same way that,
I mean, Future. If I was Drake, I'd be like, dude, you got some explaining to do.
your boys.
What happened?
Your boys. What happened here? I am just such a huge Future fan. The way that people are for like. I'm a Future dick rider. It's like me and Liam, the old producer for Pardon My Take, just go back and forth on fucking Twitter about how much we love Future. I think Future's just so high all the time that all this went over his head. This is completely just gone over his head.
Pluto.
I think winners in this are definitely Mustard, Kendrick for sure. If you're not talking about somebody directly within the beef, another group of people I like to think about are the other like big rappers from the time of like 2011, 2012, and like ASAP Rocky's probably a winner in all this because Drake tried to throw shots at him. He just goes home and looks at Rihanna and he's like, I have $1 billion. I don't give a fuck.
I think ASAP's one of the losers. Like,
really?
I fucked your baby mama, and Drake comes back and he's like, yeah, while you were fucking her, I was fucking your actual wife right now. I don't know. That to me, I thought that was also a very big big miscue by Drake was taking time out for all those guys.
Well, that's like, the whole time I've been saying another reason Drake lost in this circumstance was Kendrick was sitting in a dark room somewhere next to like a candle, like being like, how can I eviscerate this person into the shadow realm? And Drake was like, oh yeah, Kendrick, what about Rick Ross's fat ass? It's like nobody cares about Rick Ross in this scenario.
It was smart in the beginning though. I do think because it's so funny how much recency whatever happened most recent matters the most. Because again, 7 days ago, we were talking about Drake as Thanos because it was 20v1 and all these guys looked petty and Drake had the whole industry coming at him. And even if he wasn't winning yet, he was still standing.
Yep.
It was like, holy shit. So when he first addressed them all, I think it was great. It was just like he kept like talking about them on Family Matters was a waste of time. That was like he dispensed, you know what? I'll let you answer your biggest winner, Dante, in a second. But the biggest loser in this is fucking Metro. Metro Boomin looks like the biggest fucking loser. Drake dispensed of him with one line. Everybody was just yelling, shut your whole ass up and go make some drums. And then he has his Twitter meltdown like a fucking, hold me back. I could get into this fight if I wanted to. It's like, you can't rap. You're not going to be in this battle. Shut the fuck up. And then everybody went and found tweets of him talking like a creep and exposed him. The biggest loser in this whole thing. He could have just shut the fuck up and been on the winning team. And instead, I think he's one of the biggest losers.
Agreed.
My biggest loser is The Weeknd. I think he looks like absolute shit in this whole thing. I mean, we wouldn't even know who he is if it wasn't for Drake.
Facts.
So true.
Like, would not even know who he is, and he owes everything to that guy. And for him to switch sides in all this is just so fucked up.
He's generally a loser. I dislike The Weeknd. I always
totally that whole like when he went from just like I'm an R&B singer to like the weird face and the like fucking so dramatic. I can't decide again. I hope, logically speaking, because I like Drake. I wish it was that these guys are all petty and not grateful and just like so shitty that it's like you gave me this career, you gave me my number ones, and then I turn around and I motherfuck you. But logically, he must be doing something that like every single one of these guys hates him. I hate to admit that because I generally look at Drake as like a cool dude. The pedophile thing has completely spiraled out of control. And that was, one of the smartest plays of all time by Kendrick is to just hammer that because, again, he can't win. Everyone said, why are you not addressing the pedo allegations? And as soon as he did it, everyone said, you look like a fucking lunatic repeating yourself over and over again on a record saying you're not a pedophile. So he was in a total lose-lose. I do think there's some weird shit that Drake does. I just genuinely, if you put me up to a lie detector, do I think Drake is a pedophile? I think the answer is no.
I agree.
So it's like, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we have some Diddy allegations in a couple years, and it's like, wow, Kendrick really won the battle. But until that happens, I think these were all just rumors, and the fact that like that follows him around for the rest of his life now is like,
okay, there's my winner. My winner in this battle is Diddy. The pedo heat is off him and onto Drake. The news cycle has completely moved away from the fact that one of the biggest, most important music moguls in the last 20 years
it's a great call.
Fucking Epstein. Yep. Now, Drake, of all people, brings up Epstein in the fucking raps. What are we doing? Dude,
yeah, I know.
Dude, just shut up for 5 fucking seconds. Just move on.
You know what, though? You know what I think is actually evidence that he's not a pedophile? Because he has one line that is so innocent and ignorant and stupid that it makes him look, I think he's not doing it. When he says, I'm so famous that I would have been caught by now, I think that's the words of an innocent man. Because everybody, you think, like, if you were to just, you're a young kid, you're just learning for the first time, you'd be like, oh, if you're in the public eye, you would get caught. And then as you grow and learn, you come to realize, no, that's the people who are doing it. But the fact that he was so like dumb about that and saying, I'm rich and famous, someone would have caught me by now, I think that shows him he does not even understand how this all works. That when you're rich and powerful, you use your power to, get away with that. So I think he's got some weird tendencies. I think some of those things are overplayed. Pulling that girl up on stage and serenading her at an R&B concert. It was weird, but that's, people do that at R&B concerts, and some of the other shit has been disproven that he wasn't at dinner with that girl. I just, at the end of the day, I don't think he's fucking kids. I just don't think he's fucking kids.
The fact that we're having this long of a conversation about it, though,
is
how this happens. This is, once again, out of Trump's fucking playbook. It is 100% out of Trump's playbook. Is Drake a pedophile? I'm going to say 95% no. That 5%.
But there's 5%. Nobody else is walking around with a 5% pedophile tag on them. That's the fact.
And
so what do you think you do? Because so this is what's dangerous about this battle. The next battle that comes along, these guys are just going to lie about each other. They're just going to fucking like there was a smidge of a little thing to pull on about him being a pedophile, but if I'm the next rapper, I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to say this until people believe it. Just keep on saying it.
If you're Drake and you want to come back from this, you have 2 options. You either dedicate your life to eradicating people on Megan's list. Like, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to publicly execute a pedophile. That's what you have to do. I'm sorry. That's it. That's your only option. Exactly. You have to. Have you seen that video of Bradley Martin going around?
Yes. Yeah, he's got to do the vigilante thing. Yeah.
He needs to join Project Veritas and go fucking hot mic pedophiles. That's the only option. No. Oh my God. If Drake puts on an ATF badge and like arraigns Diddy and he breaks up the Diddy pedophile ring, he wins. But until then, the song of the summer. There's people in Vegas at 3 a.m. crip walking.
It's so catchy, dude. Oh, hey, you know what he really did too? There's, for nerds like us, we're going to sit around, we're going to read Genius, and we're going to listen to Questlove and find out all these fucking intricacies. The rest of the world, I knew this shit was over within a span of like 2 hours. I had 2 girls who have nothing to do with the rap world tell me, yo, that song's a bop. Yep. Jackie was like, oh shit, now I'm in it. Like, what? Tell me all about it. I like this song. That was when I was like, oh no, this is gonna go south for Drake real fucking quick. And all you need is people, you dumb it down for these morons. OV-Ho is Make America Great Again or Build That Wall. It's just easy for people to latch onto and just say it over and over again.
And this is why Lupe Fiasco never became a big star. Because if you remember Dumb It Down, one of my favorite fucking songs of Lupe Fiasco's, he refused to do it. Kendrick and Lupe have a lot of idiosyncrasies in common. They're both like in their own heads. They're very intelligent, whatever. Kendrick took it to this fucking level. This was the smartest move, maybe in one of the smartest moves in hip hop beef history, to flip that and do that.
Well, in this version of Kendrick, I love. Like, you know, I see his BET cipher. I'm like, that was awesome. And I there's times where I'm like, yes, I understand why you are this guy. But then I hear like all of his records to me are like, He sounds like he's crying. He sounds like he's gopher. It's all like terrible to me. I honestly, one of the biggest things for me was I remember thinking Kendrick Lamar is Grammy rap and he's winning Nobel Peace Prizes, but I don't think he has like real fans. And then he went and had the biggest tour of all time, and he went and did this and proved out that he has I think I hate Kendrick fans the most out of all this. They are insufferable, dude. He gets credit for fucking everything.
Yeah.
The 616 in LA, where people were saying it's Father's Day in Canada, and it's also the day that O.J. Simpson trial started, and it's the day that Nicole Brown Simpson's funeral was, and it's also this and also that. It's like, yo, bro, he didn't do everything. Like, they give him credit for every single thing he says and does.
I don't think Kendrick fans realize.
Guys,
how
I gotta
close
jump.
Go ahead. I love you.
Sorry.
I love you. All right, now that we got him the fuck out of here, let's really talk here. If you're that big of a fan, like Kendrick fans and Tech Nine fans, I don't think are that far away from each other.
Yeah,
they're in
good
that
call.
same.
Yep.
But the way you feel about Kendrick is the way I feel about Eminem.
Okay.
I hate Eminem. I do.
Really?
I always have. I always have. As a kid, I didn't get it. And I have moments where like I'll go back now and listen to Marshall Mathers LP and Slim Shady LP, and I'm like, wow, this guy was incredible. Anything past that, Eminem show was great too, but like anything past Recovery, I'm like,
well, yeah. That's like Jordan on the Wizards. That's a guy who should have just stopped. Like, and he's going again. And it's like, if you love making music, do your thing, dog. But I don't know, stop with the weird voices and make it like you used to. I thought Recovery was great. I think the Eminem show might be my favorite of all.
The Eminem show is phenomenal.
I mean, he's like the 8 or 9 syllables deep on every rhyme, and like the flow is fucking impeccable. He's like I think when he's at his best he's like literally the best at rapping words. I don't, whatever you want to call it, Black Thought or freestyling, and there's different ways to measure rap. But I think when he's at his best, nobody's better at saying rap words than Eminem.
I respect the craft, and I understand that he's one of the greatest of all time. I just don't like it. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you watch, some people don't love Tarantino. It's like you can objectively say he's the greatest film director of all time. His shit doesn't move me.
Don't like his movies, right?
Which is you for Kendrick, I guess. But the funny thing is, I'm talking myself into like understanding the greatness of Drake through this, because Drake has the ability on both sides. He's also the biggest pop star besides Taylor Swift in the world.
Yep.
And
that also was a tough spot. That's a tough spot to be in a tough guy battle. That was why, oh man, Drake fumbled so hard.
Yep.
I think one of the best parts of this whole battle was so early on when he said, go do your track for Maroon 5, go do your track for Taylor Swift, because I'm the pop guy, but how about fucking Mr. Adam Levine over here? And that made me go like, whoa, hold on. How come we don't ever call this dude the fucking pop princess? Like, he's done the fucking weakest, lamest tracks of all. And back at that point, it was still, that was rap battle before we got weird with it. Pedophiles and wife beating. To me, that was like a good old school type of beef, like bar where it's like, you actually are the pop princess rapper. And I was like, oh, I never thought, as a Kendrick hater, I never even thought to play that card. Well, and I thought that was so smart. And he had it. If he had done if he stepped on Drake's, on Kendrick's record, I think a lot of this goes his way. I think that was really the turning point. Euphoria, I think, was not really even aging. Like in the beginning, it has some bars, it has some moments, but like 2 days after it came out, I remember being like, that's not going to be enough. I think Drake's going to come back here. And there was that 1 minute where he did. And I was like, see, I think that smashed Euphoria, but then it just doubled down,
I look at it this way. And after talking about it for this long, Drake did lose, but at the same time, like, I think I fucking learned a lot about just how great he is, that it took this much.
Oh, the fact that he's still standing at the end of the day.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And if you can beat pedo allegations, you're probably doing something right. I don't know, but
I like you know what I thought would have been the best move after Not Like Us came out, or I guess maybe before Not Like Us came out, because that is the pop banger. He should have had a response, and he should have just had a #1 hit ready to go.
Yep.
Like, oh, by the way, I'm battling you, but oh, by the way, I just put out the song of the summer, and this is gonna get 500 million streams on DPSs, and like, we are go I'm going to show you how to really be like a megastar. And he just, because that's what he does. Like that is his way of fighting back. You can't I don't think anybody should ever do this in a battle, but he really falls victim to it. When you're trying to defend allegations, just don't bring those up and play offense. Just keep fucking hitting.
Yeah.
That's why they're like, Drake will listen to fans when they say, you have to respond to the pedo allegations. You have to respond to it. And he did. And now you look stupid.
Yep.
Everyone on Drake's side was going, yo, Kendrick, prove to us you didn't beat your wife. Prove to us you didn't beat your wife. And he just doesn't fucking talk about it.
Because I feel like Kendrick's more cerebral. Drake thinks he is. Drake thinks he's like the dark, like pulling the strings. Kendrick's actually puppet mastering this. Also, Drake should have went like, dude, you're a part of the deep state. Like, you actually run pedophile rings. He should have dove in deeper. Flip it.
Fucking say it. Because once I feel like Drake, even in his like the outro of the last record, just kind of talking, where that was a very bad blunder too. Drake had a lot of miscues on this.
That was the worst. How did we not talk about that?
I have a list here. Let me run just through it.
Go ahead.
One, letting Kendrick step on him. We talked about that. Letting Kendrick put out the catchiest song. I would have bet, win or lose the beef, I would have bet that Drake has the best song to come out of this. And the fact that it's Kendrick,
all the money I have, I would have bet on it.
Playing defense instead of offense, we said that. You cannot ever wave the white flag. You cannot ever signal any weakness. Being like, yeah, you can't say like, yo, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And then be like, okay, that's too many records, man. It's too many records.
You can't say, when are you gonna drop, and then be like, dude, I know you got like 50 more songs to drop, you fucking loser. I guess we're done with this. Dude, you can't play both sides of the fence on that.
No. I also think if people are like lying, then you fucking lie right back. Yes. And I think he tried to do that with the I set you up. Now don't get it twisted. If Drake leaked that information on purpose and he had a whole video proving it, being like, here's the date, it's May 3rd, and I'm gonna send my boy to fuck this girl, and he's gonna tell her, and he dropped that, I think it would have been over. I think it would have been a mic drop. Like, I clowned you so bad. But the fact, as soon as he posted on Instagram right away saying, I don't have a daughter, I said, that's it. Like, he got to him because he responded so quickly. That would never be your response if you actually had some master plan. So that was a big misstep. And then the other one, that line about freeing the slaves, not good. And I know what he meant, and he's not wrong. Yeah. Kendrick is always trying to play this like this activist, and like, I'm this amazing citizen, and I'm like for the culture, and I'm this king and the Messiah and all this shit. But he should have not, for a guy who he is catching the, you're not black enough, you can't say the word. He should not have mentioned that, because there's certain things when I'm talking about this world, there are certain things I always just check out on, and I wouldn't, you never bring up something like that.
I'd hope not, dude.
Like, that's crazy for him. It's like, you're having your ethnicity challenged, and you just said something that like a racist white person would say.
Yeah,
not good. Not good.
The white half took over there for a minute. That was tough. Dude, if there's anything I learned in this situation, it's lie. And if someone comes at you with pedo allegations, ask them where they were on 9/11. Like, that's really all you can. That's where we are. Like, that's what you should have done. At the end of the day, I want it to continue. I do, and I know it's escalating now with fucking security guards getting shot. Which, by the way, I think that's that's probably some fucking lunatic fan who did some shit.
I had heard it was like there was a shooting a couple of weeks ago. I heard it's an OVO and weekend thing, but I don't know if that's true or not.
They're all such fucking losers.
But it is interesting that they posted his house as the album art with the fucking address right there. And then his house gets shot up. It's like, I just hate when it goes there, because it's like, I know. We can't. Then it really ruins. I think the fun ended with all these weird allegations anyway, but it'll definitely end if there's any, fucking violence and death. But I found it so interesting that, like, I feel like the in the world of battling, it's like a three-legged stool of like what you say, how good the song is, like how well it's liked, and then how you put it out, meaning like when you put it out, or the album art, or the the platform you put it out on. And really, if you fuck up any one of those things really bad, it falls over because
The House of Cards.
you could have two of those things great. If you fuck up how you put it out, it's done. That's what happened to Family Matters.
Yeah.
If you put it out perfectly and you're saying a lot of stuff, but like the beat sucks and people don't like it, no one's gonna listen. It falls down. You really have to have it all balanced. And I feel like at times Drake had all of one of them, but not the other two, or all of two of them, but not the third. And you got to just be well-rounded. And Kendrick had throughout all those songs, he had, this is my weird lyrical one. This is my pop one. I had this good beat. I said a lot of shit over here. I was goofy, funny over here. Like when he says, Drake, look with sexy red, you look like two bad bitches. Like
it's my favorite line of the entire beef.
Right. But then you're also like talking to his imaginary daughter, being like, your dad wants to fuck you. Like,
oh
he did it all. He did it all.
I think, like, looking at it in totality, you're right about that. There was one perfect record out of all these, and it's Not Like Us. And it's not the best song of the group, but in totality, if you're talking about the three-legged stool, it was the perfect one of the three. Family Matters was probably the hottest shit out of the entire thing.
Oh, yeah. He was spitting. The fact that I think that song will be like Barry Bonds' career. Like, we'll look back on that and be like, there'll be fans who are like, wait a minute, like this, like if you weren't around for this battle and you listen to it in 20 years, you're going to be like, this is the song. This is the one that wins. But it's like, no, it just got fucking, it got Thanos snapped. It just disappeared in a matter of 10 minutes.
And then you're like, he was a Hall of Famer before the steroids. He had 500 home runs before the steroids. You know what I mean? Like, you need to look at the Pirates career too. You can't just look at the Giants.
Right.
I guess we'll part on this. This is my last, like, kind of remaining question. After this, we know Kendrick's going to go off to do Kendrick things and go do push-ups in the park and fucking read Thoreau.
That next album is going to come out and people are going to be like, this is fucking weird.
And that's where this is going for me. What does Drake do after this? Because he has two options. You either put out the biggest commercial smash of your career
or go do the hip-hop shit.
You do what we've all been asking for years, we talked about this on the podcast a couple months ago. When he put out For All the Dogs, he did the For All the Dogs Deluxe. And basically every track on that Deluxe was done by Conductor Williams or The Alchemist. And we were all like, oh my God, he's doing it. He's
But that's why that was so stupid.
Yes.
Because he wasted a lot of good bars and great beats on a deluxe drop.
Yep.
What he should have done is said, here's my pop album. And I think he needs to drop a classic again. Yep. And I don't know if it's right now because it might be. Again, when you start listening to the fans chattering, you need to give me a classic, you fuck up. Yep. I think I would come back with a record that has 5 number ones and some of it's Afro beats and some of it's R&B and some of it's fucking, West Indies and all that shit. I would go get like Timbaland and fucking Premier and all this shit, right? But at some point, and it's like, we know he should put out a whole album of timestamp records. The whole fucking thing. Places and times, because we know you can do it. And that will give him that final infinity stone where it's like, yo, this album, make it 10 songs. You don't need 18 tracks. Yep. You don't need interludes and shit. Give me 10 or 11, 12 great bangers, hip hop beats and lyrics. We know you can do it. And then, maybe people this like you're not respected in hip hop thing will go away a little bit. I think it's kind of ridiculous that people don't respect, like, because he can sing and do other things. It means he can't rap anymore. He already proved he can rap.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. They're not mutually exclusive.
That's why he's even in this battle, is because we know he can fucking spit. Yeah. So people just forget that because he makes a dance record or whatever record. That's crazy to me. So
he does this to himself, though. He does do this to himself. Yep. He plays up so many different things and so many different avenues. And there's nerds like me, who generally look at him and say, I know you're great, but why are you such a pussy? Like, why do you do the things that you do?
Why I think he's like a LeBron. I think he's like when LeBron's the greatest player, but I see him a quote after the game or what he's wearing or when he pretends to read the books or when he flops. And I'm like, you're kind of gay, dude. That was fucking gay, man.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say. It's like, dude. And it's like, it's the kid who tries too hard to be everything to everybody. Yep. Like, that's why people like, I don't know, like, how do I put, like, even Joey Badass, someone who's like more of an
He-
underground artist. You
Yeah.
know what you are. You know what you are and you do it. Why do people like Lil B? Because it's funny and you do what you do and you stick with that. Why do people like Wayne? Because Wayne is high and oblivious to most things. He doesn't remember his own fucking lyrics, makes smashes, but he is who he is. I don't know who Drake is. That's the
Well, I
problem.
know, but also at the same time, it's like, why do I do this? Because I'm like the most successful goddamn person ever.
Yes.
And while you're this little piece of the pie of hip hop, backpackers who are like, why don't you give me a classic album? The other 99% are like, we love your fucking music and we don't care, and it's like, I think it's very obvious that he's never been accepted. I mean, but from day one, if I was him from day one, I would have been like, I was on Degrassi.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be considered some hip hop god, but like, I can do this better than anybody.
Yeah.
So he needs to let go of that. Like, just stop even caring and be like, whatever, man. Like, yeah, I'm not the blackest. I'm not the hardest. I'm not the toughest, but I am better than you at that fucking actually doing it.
There is no one in the history of hip hop who has been able to do pop records and rap records the way that he has. There's no one. There's literally not even close. Like, not even
be the closest, but like,
he is the dream of Ja Rule realized. Like, if Ja Rule and Jay-Z had a baby, you have fucking Drake.
Dude, I'm glad you brought him up though, because remember that, by the way, like 50 didn't stop for like a decade.
No.
So when people are like, is this over? Maybe it's not going to be like song for song, like firing at each other, but they're going to be talking about each other for the rest of their careers.
I hope so. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I just hope this doesn't go the way, and I don't think it will because the infrastructure is so strong, of someone I love dearly. I hope it doesn't go the way of it mentally scarring someone like it did with Meek, where Meek
never recovered, bro. No, that's not going to happen here because
I went to high school in Northeast Philadelphia. I'm from Northeast
oh
Philadelphia.
no, yeah.
Meek
was your boy.
Yes, Meek. I bought fucking Flamers 2 from the Franklin Mills Mall kiosk that sold kung fu movies and fucking bootleg mixtapes. I love Braids Meek. Like, I'm talking like that Meek.
There's a reason why people thought like he could go at Drake at that time, and it was like, oh no, he cannot. No, he cannot.
I had a free Meek Mill t-shirt, dude.
No.
And look, I still love him. It's like a friend I don't know who I love, and I feel like I know this dude. We grew up together. I don't know fucking Meek. Yeah. Things are not the same. Something's wrong there. That brain broke. He's been hanging out with Michael Rubin doing weird shit.
Allegedly been hanging out with Diddy doing weird shit. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go there. But I don't. The infrastructure is too strong. It doesn't matter. And Drake's already been through wars.
These guys, I think in the end, Drake is going to put out a smash record and it's going to be like, whatever, we don't care. I think there's going to be a bunch of people. This is very good publicity for Kendrick. Yeah. And everybody I know saying he has an album ready to go in like May or June, and they're going to put it out. And these new fans are going to go and be like, this is fucking weird, bro. Where's Not Like Us? Like,
who the fuck is Thundercat? Why are you featuring George Clinton?
And let me just say this. The other thing that I think Drake really mishandled and could have just hammered, and the fans are just being assholes by not like acknowledging this. You cannot talk about Drake's destructive lifestyle of women and drugs and partying and fucking when you yourself just copped to all of that behavior on your last album.
Last record. That was the entire last record was.
Everyone's saying, well, he went to therapy and he healed. That's what we're talking about in a rap battle. Yeah. Who's healed and not? Fuck.
This is why J. Cole left. This
is
why J. Cole left, because he's emotionally elevated. And he's like, I've thought about it. I went on BetterHelp. I fucking, I talked to somebody and I learned I just don't need to attack my friends like this. No, I want a rabid pit bull. I want someone who's ready to fucking kill. I want Jadakiss. Like, I want fucking, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. And it's funny you said, have you seen that clip of Jadakiss on, he was on, I can't remember what show he was on. He was getting interviewed and he was talking about J. Cole and he was like, J. Cole's got me confused, man. I don't know what he's doing when he first apologized.
Yeah, dude.
You know what Cole should have done is just not apologized, but like backed out.
Yeah.
If he put that record out, it was but at the time people were like, ooh. And then as soon as people start talking about pedophiles and wives, if Cole just said like, I'm out, then it would have been fine. But apologizing before the storm,
nah,
it's much of a cop out.
And it's like I still love Cole, don't get me wrong, and this may shine on him well down the road. We're all like, I'm glad he got out of that before something really bad happened. It's still like at the end of the day, you talked a lot of shit and you talked down to a lot of younger artists and you put a lot of motherfuckers in their place. And the second shit got mean, you were like, you know what, man, maybe I was wrong this whole time. And now he'll do a record on the next, he'll do a fucking outro on the next record, talking to his younger self, being like, man, you should have thought about this when you talked to Little Pump this way. Shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Well, that's hip hop will keep you honest, man. There's always records of everything you say, and then it comes back to bite you. That's why, like, you can't have many skeletons if you're gonna go to battle, or you just don't give a fuck about your skeletons and you power through them and you just don't acknowledge them at all. But like again, like that's why I think people concocted that whole story about Drake feeding fake information because it would be unfathomable to go into a battle again with another hidden child.
Right.
So it was like this has to be made up. So but again, the fact that we don't have an answer to why he rapped about this fake daughter, because I don't think Drake fed him the information. But then where did it come from? But nobody cares. It doesn't matter. He got totally played. If that was me, imagine you put out a whole song about a family member that didn't exist. I'd be like, oh my God, I just lost the battle.
Yeah.
I just lost. Like they're gonna clown me. It's fake. I fucked up. And then nobody cared. Nobody said anything.
The second that trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor happened, it was over. That's it.
Yep.
That was to
have the most memorable lines, and that was his version of, is this a world tour or your girls tour? It's like
I was in a public place that I will not tell you where I was, with my hand cupped around my phone like this, listening to the beef, and I heard that and I went, oh my God. I went out loud and people looking at me like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, nothing, don't worry about it. You guys wouldn't understand what just happened. But Kev, this was fun, dude. This was a good time.
Great. Thanks for I needed the outlet. I don't, again, not many other people here at the company care about this shit. So I'm happy to get it all off my chest.
We've been doing what we call classic album reviews with Robbie. So I'll take like an Oasis album with Robbie and we'll break it down from its inception through. We need to pick like fucking Illmatic or something, volume 2. I don't give a fuck. You pick an album and we'll just go through it.
I love that. That sounds great, man. Let me think on that. My knee-jerk reaction there was Moment of Truth by Gangstar, but I do also Illmatic might be the one, because I need to learn more about Illmatic. I feel like I know how great it is, but I don't know, like, I just learned the other day that it was the first time that other producers from other camps got together and put their beats to another rapper and like almost like a compilation. I was like, wow, no wonder it was fucking that good.
Premier, Q-Tip, like everybody was involved in that. It was fucking insane. Crazy. But I digress.
Thanks, man. This was
holy
awesome.
fuck. Yeah, that's how we cap that off.